Today I'm going to be looking at the Collins Sonar. Collins is a microbrand based in the United States, and this particular watch currently retails at $695, which appears to be a steep price to pay for a watch that resembles a lot of other microbrand divers on the market right now, like the Traska Freediver and the Nodus Retrospect. For this reason, I've decided to change up the format of this review and present it in the form of an argument for and against choosing a Sonar as your next dive watch. I will draw parallels to the Traska Freediver that I recently reviewed, as that watch delivered an incredible amount of value at $375. In terms of case dimensions, this watch is almost identical to the Freediver with maybe plus or minus half a millimeter along each dimension. When compared to the Nodus Retrospect, which I have not reviewed yet, this watch is a bit smaller along all three dimensions. The Freediver has slightly straighter lugs, whereas the Sonar curves more towards the wrist, and I prefer this to the Traska. The Traska Freediver has a surface-hardened steel case and bracelet, which earned a lot of points in my book. The Sonar has regular 316L brushed stainless steel, with some polished surfaces on the bezel edge and crown. Both watches have screw-down crowns and screw-down case backs, but the Sonar with the same dimensions is rated for an impressive 300 meters of water resistance, in comparison to the 200 meters on the Freediver. So in terms of case comparisons overall, you're looking at 300 meters of water resistance versus a surface hardened steel case, because the overall build quality and finishing on both watches is almost identical. I personally prefer the surface hardened steel. The 120 click ceramic bezel is excellent and has a negligible backplay, and feels much better than the Freediver. Every element on the bezel is filled with BGW9 superluminova and looks terrific in the dark. The Freediver that I reviewed had a loomed circular pip at 12 o'clock on the stainless steel bezel. The ceramic bezels have loomed indices, but from what I've seen online is nowhere as impressive as this. The Sonar definitely wins the bezel game with a more accurate bezel and impressive loom, and here are a couple of close-ups of the bezel. The Sonar is available in 6 different dial colors, and I particularly like the blue and green dials. Putting aside colors, the Sonar absolutely wins the dial game with extremely well-made diamond-cut hands and hour indices. The quality of finishing on the hands and indices is almost on par with watches twice as expensive, and light years ahead of those on the Freediver. They are polished perfectly with almost no jagged edges or surface anomalies. If you remember my Traska Freediver review, the loom on the hands and indices was mismatched, whereas this watch is identical and generously loomed. The seconds hand has a loomed marker, which earns more points in my book and puts on a great show when lit up. The 3, 6, 9, and 12 hour indices have an interesting design and give the dial some character. The quality of components on the dial is likely what will separate the Collins Sonar from other sub $500 dive watches. In terms of overall finishing, I did find a small particle on the underside of the flat sapphire crystal, but this happens to even the best of brands and I won't hold it against them. The rest of the dial is very well finished. The raised flat sapphire crystal is a great choice and results in a perfectly legible dial. Between the excellent loomed bezel and the well-loomed dial, the Sonar is easily the winner here, and I will just let this video snippet speak for itself. All these elements are superluminova BGW9. While the Sonar delivers a decent pressed clasp with 3 positions for micro adjustments and a nice stamped clasp lock, the Freediver gets the points on this one with its excellent milled clasp and perlage finishing. In terms of the bracelet links and finishing, I'm going to have to declare a tie. The Freediver bracelet links were of excellent quality, but I kept getting hair yanked out of my wrist to the point of leaving a small bald patch. The Sonar bracelet has no hair pulling, but I've had some struggles with the link pin screws, and I personally believe that the actual links could have been made to tighter tolerances. The links are brushed to match the case, and the tolerances at the case and bracelet joints is excellent. Overall, I do think that the Freediver would win this round. Let me give you a few close-up shots of the links and the really good bracelet and case joint. Here's what it looks like on my 6 1/4 inch wrist. Because of how similar the dimensions are to the Freediver, I'd say that the wrist experience is very much alike. The Sonar ships with the Sellita SW200, which is an excellent movement and, in my opinion, reason enough to cough up the extra dough over a Freediver or a Retrospect. For starters, I observed roughly minus 21 seconds per day on the Freediver, whereas I've observed roughly minus 6 seconds per day on the Sonar after logging its accuracy for a 48-hour period. I also prefer the crown action and adjustment experience of the Celita over the Seiko. The Seiko often feels scratchy and cheap. The Celita isn't perfect, but it delivers a significantly better experience, and if you wind these two movements side by side, you'll quickly realize why the SW200 costs more than the NH35. One of the disappointing aspects of the Freediver experience was the brand's claim of being an independent American watch brand and then having the watch shipped to me straight from a facility in China. I'm not against Chinese made watches or Chinese components, but I do respect brand transparency. If you flip the Sonar over, you'll see an interesting Sonar inspired caseback engraving, around which is proudly mentioned assembled in the USA. Assembling and quality control in the USA is definitely bound to increase overall costs, and this does explain a fraction of the premium in price. But if you start to tally things up by choosing the Sonar over the Freediver, you're sacrificing surface hardened steel and a very good bracelet, but what that additional $300 gets you is 100 meters more water resistance, an exponentially better dial, better loom, a better bezel, and a better movement. In the case of the Collins Sonar and Notice Retrospect, you're also getting a watch that is assembled and quality controlled in the United States, if that makes a difference to you. Should you buy a Collins Sonar? That depends upon how important the above mentioned points are to you. The $700 price range is a difficult one to be in given the influx of sub $500 divers. I heard that Collins offered a 30% discount during Memorial Day, and at that price, this watch is an easy choice over the competition. Thanks for watching, and be sure to read the full detailed review in the link below.